Hello and good morning or good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Bobbie and I am a channeler and a seer. I will be channeling today. I channel through my team and they consist of the CYANIANS, Pleiadians, Acrturians. The CYANIANS are my guides that reside close to Oneness, and they come from the Pleiadian sector. They're just high, benevolent Pleiadian beings. And they visited me and told me of this big shift. So I channel them through. So, hey, Lisa, good to see you. Good to see you, Sheila, as well. I'm in the middle of a cup of tea, so sorry about that. Good messages coming through at the moment too, so we'll get to them in a minute, but just to let you guys know, I'm changing things up a bit on my YouTube. So I put out a community notice. Today I usually do tarot, but I'm going to start to peter that out because I'm really a channeler. And what I'm going to do instead, just to have fun with you guys in the chat bar, is on Thursday, because I'm shifting it up so that I do channeling today. And on Thursday, we're going to do something new. So we're going to pick a channeled message. And I'm going to use my art cards. So I have a lot of art. This is all of my art. And I'm just going to use these cards. I'll introduce them to you next Thursday, though. And then you can pick a channel message and I will channel something through for you guys. So that's going to be fun to have a go at. I've been practicing and seeing how it actually works and if it works. And I feel that this will work. So that's what we're going to do on Thursdays so that we can all have fun together with that. But today we're going to focus on channeling because I wanted to shift that around so that at the beginning of the week I do the channeling because I tend to get a lot of messages throughout the weekend. So then I can be more fresh in that channeling that comes through the weekend. And then gift you guys the information that I'm getting through about our ascension process, where we're going, how to navigate through all of these amazing energies that are bombarding us at the moment and breaking everything up to create something completely different and new, aligning us with way better. So that's what's happening. Plus, I have this brand new advert. Well, I've started an advert. I haven't done an advert for my YouTube for a long time. So I thought I'm going to invest some money into this because this is something that I feel these messages need to get out further now. And I finally cleared enough of my own stuff to break through and share even further. So I'm going to invest. So what I've done is I've put this advert together, and I'd love to get you guys, what you guys think about it. And I thought that we would have a bit of a fun, whimsical competition, I suppose. I don't like the word competition so much, but it's, someone can win a book or one of my books. I'll just go find them, or one of my fortune dice. So these are actually up on Etsy. So this is a book called Imagine Holding Hands. It's a children's book, and it has a lot of amazing graphic art and so forth, opening up children to way more, helping them ignite their right hemisphere. And this one is a novel that I wrote called Jonah and Kitty, the Timekeeper's Void. So this is kind of like a 10 years and up novel, and this has got a lot of experiences that I actually went through, and it's connecting two worlds together, two frequencies together, the elemental frequency and our frequency, and a lot of really cool stuff in that. And then my fortune dice, which I haven't got the packaging here, but I do have the dice. So these are the fortune dice that I have. Okay, I can't hold them like that. But they have my artwork on them as well. I don't know if you can see the artwork too clearly, but dreams, and then they also come with these little dice, which are 0 to 9 for numerology. And you get 3 of those and 2 of my picture fortune dice. So, and a little booklet that comes with it in the back. So you can choose which one you want. And I'll just randomly choose somebody, but it has to be someone that's obviously made a comment on my advert. And if you're going to like it, it'd be fantastic. But, you know, if you don't like it, so be it. I'm not going to persuade anyone to do anything they don't want to do just to win something. Any case, yeah, so that's where all that is. I think that's all my housekeeping. Yep. And then we will get into these channel messages. Now, I was lying there this morning and I got this really cool message come through. I did write some of it down, and I'm just having to align myself again because I have to get out of my logical brain, which was all of that housekeeping, and into connection with my guides. But we'll start off by, as per usual, reading some of the channel messages that I received throughout the week, and I will read these out to you, which usually sparks me or gets the engine revving into me channeling, and they come through and then we won't stop them. Like if anyone's ever watched me before, it might seem like I'm talking, but it's actually CYANIANS recognize us all as one, and I literally feel at one with them when I'm channeling. So that's what happens. So it sometimes looks like I'm just having a conversation with you. If you are curious about how I started channeling, there's a link down below to about my channeling. And also if you need a one-on-one with me, intuitive counseling session, that's a reading, and then I dive into your soul, connections, blockages, where you can go and all that sort of stuff, then the link is down below. It's my website, codestoanewreality.com. Just go click on that and you'll find intuitive counseling. Click on that and then you can book me. So that's where that's all going. Let's get into these channel messages. So at the moment with the ascension process that's going on, we are literally getting closer and closer to getting sucked into this vortex. It's really interesting. They keep showing me this whirlpool this morning. Another thing that they keep showing me, which I haven't written down and it's constantly in my head at the moment, it's like a person or any sort of energy, any sort of soul, animal, anything. And then they keep showing me all like just, hard to explain. I kind of need a picture, but it's like streams of their own light going out, and it's like all that exists is their reality moving through this reality, and it's like energy that comes very quickly towards one entity, being an animal, a person, a flower, whatever it is. It has soul within it. And they keep showing me this for, I don't know what reason yet, but I'm just sharing it with you because it's kind of like a understanding of maybe these channeled messages have something to do with it, because that kind of makes sense. But I'll get into these channel messages. The first one is whirlpool pulling. There's a whirlpool, like I saw a whirlpool pulling us in. Instead of gravity, though, it's our intentions that are pulling us in. So our intentions are greatly advised to be working towards the benefit of you becoming more, becoming the creator rather than the creation, just at this point of existence while we're funneling through this small, narrow band of understanding ourselves, connecting ourselves back to source energy, God, oneness itself. When that happens, and we're each going to go through this in an individual way, it won't feel, you can see the visuals when I speak them, but for yourself, it'll just feel like you're coming more and more and more in line with the moment and understanding who you are in the bigger picture of everything. In other words, connecting back to source energy and God and all that sort of thing, realizing that you are source energy going through on a journey through this body. They said to raise your vibration, you will need to live in the moment more and more, then new worlds and opportunities will open up for you, because many of those opportunities were needed to be seen from a clear mind that didn't distort the truth of an opportunistic story by fear, anxiety, or anger. As the opportunities we are talking about are held only in match to a peaceful vibration. It's like walking into a room while looking through binoculars, thinking that's all that exists. So you only see a small band of sight, compared to letting go of your fear and trusting the path that you already hold within you, knowing that you will always be fine. This program, however, has so many looking for dramas, or the binoculars that we hold in front of us. That's the program, that very narrow band of fear and worry and concern and anxiety and all of that sort of stuff has many of us looking for a drama or something to protect ourselves against. Therefore, the universe will oblige, only letting you see the drama of something coming at you to protect yourself against. So yeah, we have to be very, very careful at the moment that whenever we are feeling ourselves moving towards that fear game within our mind, that we are bringing ourselves back to understanding that we can drop the fear, and that will actually supply us with more opportunities of new worlds, new paths, new creations, understandings, connections to benevolent beings and all of that. This is all going to happen as we come back into oneness more and more and more, or into the moment of living in the moment more and more and more. This is the new understanding of humanity's consciousness that we are starting to grasp or understand, instead of just thinking that we are just this body walking this planet physically. And we are that, but we are also this energy, alignment, source energy within us, a spark of consciousness that's wanting to shift things. And so it's our soul that will shift things. And what is it? How does our soul speak to us? Through our imagination, through our intuition, through our feelings, through seeing what feels right, what doesn't feel right. And if it doesn't feel right, you need to listen to that. That's the reason why you're like holding on to something that doesn't feel right, holds on to it even more tighter and tighter. And they're showing me when I was working with a Cherokee elder, and she upset me one day, and I was quite annoyed about it, because she was pushing me to not allow these negative energies to take hold of my mind, and I didn't recognize it at the time. So I just thought she was getting at me, like really getting at me. And I remember it was like a few months later, I'm sitting doing the dishes, and this obviously was whirling in my mind quite a bit of what she had said to me. And I was getting upset again while I was doing the dishes. And then I said to myself, or do I let go? And it was really interesting that it was like a year before, when I was sitting on this trampoline, I got shown by my guides, we need to let go. Otherwise, if you're an apple, it's like an apple hanging onto a branch that's going rotten. It will start to rot the branch. And if it fell, then it becomes a nutrient that goes back into the tree and becomes something new. And so this is what humanity's consciousness is going through. But this story leading me back to doing the dishes and having this mind game that I was playing, I just said to myself out loud, okay, am I supposed to let this go? And as soon as I said that, it was like there was like a bench that was further away from me, not even at arm's length, but there was a bowl of fruit on the bench, and this apple literally jumped out of my bowl of fruit and come rolling to my feet. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Here's this message that I got a year ago about letting go. And it was all about an apple on an apple tree. And the apple was the thing that rolled out of the fruit bowl, rolled to my feet. So I'm like, okay, I get it, radio. I've got to let this go. And this is what we need to do. We are constantly needing to let go of things that really make us feel yuck, or feel or feel like we have to fight our way through our life. There's a resistance that's happening with the universe and you when you start fighting the universe. It literally, they're bringing me to this movie called What Dreams May Come with Robin, is it? I've forgotten his name, Robin Williams in it. Anyways, and there was a place that he went to that he was trying to save his wife because he had died and he was in kind of a heaven and he thought he had to go to hell and back to save her. And so he went into the hell. The gates of hell just opened up because he was all ready to fight. So what happens is he is aligning himself with that hell. He was aligning himself with the fight. And then the fight become his reality. And as soon as he just turned around and went, she's not there. She's not in this fight. She's not in this so-called hell. He walked away. And as soon as he walked away, all of those that were fighting just turned around and went somewhere else. And that they're showing me that's exactly what's going to happen with those that are coming towards you. If you don't give them any fuel, and what they're looking for is fuel, is anger, fear, anxiety, all of that sort of stuff. They're looking for that. If you don't give them that, then they will have to find that fuel somewhere else. So they will have to leave you in the end. They could come back at you and come back at you a couple of times, just trying to poke you and see if you're really, really, really not going to give them that. And it's like the universe is doing that to us now. It's poking us and seeing if we're going to be aggravated enough to be hooked back into that story again. But if we just turn around and go, that's not where my home is, that's not where I'm going, that's not where I want to go. And we are very consistent with that, and we know who we are then aligning ourselves with the dream of moving towards where we really want to go and what we want to create. Even if it is that you do not know yet what you want to create, just saying no to that story at least puts you in a hermit stage where you can at least come back into neutral to be able to imagine something new coming up that you really are aligning yourself. And sometimes we do dip back and forth because we're trying to find out, is that what I want to align with, or is it not? Is it or is it not? So our reality keeps going back and forth like that constantly. But in the end, we're learning to come back to ourselves so that we can find exactly what we want. What are we wanting in our reality? Morning, everybody. Morning, Jamie, Nicole, Joe. Good to see you. Christina, Linda. Right. Debbie. Good to see you guys. And don't forget, save some questions. If you have any questions, you're most welcome to ask them. Sometimes I might not see them, but if you want to keep writing them until I do see them, or just see, because sometimes I'm just such in the zone. Anyway. Let's go on to the next, this next channel message that I did write down. I wrote this down this morning, this one. And this is after I saw the whirlpool. And I'll just mention what I saw. What I saw is just a tiny speck of us. Like I was seeing us insignificant in this vast universe. And I'm like, okay, we're just like a little particle in a vast universe. And then my guides came in and started to talk to me about that. So this is what they said, and this is what I wrote. You are both the creator and the creation, which is what they told me to title this. If we look outside of us, we will feel small, like a particle floating in space. But if we look within us, we know it's our consciousness that is creating the path. Therefore, the universe exists because our consciousness is the central point of our very existence. When the creator can only create by looking outside itself, it can only create a path where the creator is small. That's why we need to look within. And that, so they were showing me that was a distortion of humanity's consciousness, that we only saw ourselves in the physical world of being like a particle in amongst great big space. But it's when we look within that we find that it's our intention, our focus, how we feel about ourselves that's literally creating this next outside world. And then all of a sudden we're not just the creation, We are the creator. And so just the balance needs to come in. They said both, like creator and creation, because if we were just the creation, if we were just the creator creating this creation, then we would be in an etherical world where we wouldn't exist on this physical plane of existence. We would be godlike as the spirit. But so it's like this, finding a fine-tuned balance between creator and being creation, and moving back and forth between that through love of self and no resistance to what we actually want to create, seeking only that aligns us with our desires or what we love, and no longer giving any sort of indication to what we fear. And that's the other reason why they were bringing that stuff up before. So that's all in alignment. I can see that now. I like that when it all comes together like that. So yeah, at this very point, the reason they're saying the reason why they're bringing this up is because we are going through this funnel, through this vortex, through the center of the hourglass. We are like grains of sand, and each of us is like a spark of creation, every single one of us. That's why they keep showing me the colors coming out of a person, like honing in and creating who I am in this body. Our consciousness is everything outside of us as well as within. And they're bringing me to Jill Bolt Taylor, a neurologist that had her left brain go into a stroke, and so it kept knocking out, and that meant that she was only existing through her right hemisphere. And when she did that, she held up her hand against the wall and recognized that her hand was the wall. Everything outside of her was her as well. And she felt expansive. She felt euphoric. She felt amazing because she was aligning with her God self. She was aligning only with what the right hemisphere or that intuitive collective could be in existence. And that means that she was becoming godlike in that place. But then the logical brain its purpose is to snap us back into seeing us as individual separated stories walking the path. But that's why if we align with the God self or our alignment with that understanding that we are more than just physical, then we can have people coming into us, into our reality that is matching the vibration of how we know how we feel about ourselves. And when we feel about ourselves as source energy going on a journey in this body, we all suddenly become this godlike, this amazing creator instead of the creation. Yeah, it's I think they're trying to say it's like we're all learning how to align ourselves with those that are in our frequencies. And that's when we find the inner support of ourselves is reflected outwards and allowing others to come in. This is all to do with us funneling ourselves through this small, it's like a gateway within ourselves of returning back to source energy. And then when we do, we go, remember, because you have to pass through source energy or pass through love or pass through what Jill Bolt Taylor experienced with that whole neurology of, oh my God, everything is me and I am everything. So it's just me at this point of existence trying to create. And that's when you take the reins to your story and allowing other energies coming in that match yours, and collectively working together again. So on the other side of this funnel, we are going to find unity with each other. And humanity's consciousness is literally going through this at the moment. So if you can imagine, here on one side, they're showing me this picture that that I drew. I wish I could show you guys. It's not around me at the moment, I don't think. No, and it's of a hand that's holding an hourglass. And on one side of the hourglass is like a landscape, but it has like buildings and everything. But to be able to go through the central point of God itself, we need to break all that up. That needs to break up, because otherwise, how can the bigger clumps of particle that created reality fit through the fineness of what source energy really is? So within our minds, and it's literally within our minds, that we are dismantling our outside creation of things that we don't like, and no longer focusing in on that, literally breaking down the neuron paths within our brain that are holding that story alive. And I'm still getting swept in. Sometimes I get swept in and I go back and forth just like everybody else. So, but I am also recognizing my energy as I'm going through the story, because what happens is we're posting on, other social medias, we're posting things that we don't want to see in our life. And then we think, if I just post that, then I'm going to feel a relief that I've done my job. Then I can let go of it. If I just post that, then I can feel better. But it's actually just posting that's actually giving that more. I just posted something this morning that's going on about this on my Facebook. So it's so funny how they're bringing this up. We're saying to ourselves that I'm just posting that. Oh, and then I'll feel better. Then I'll just be able to let it all go. Yeah, no, it doesn't work like that, because you're just posting it. And I'm saying to myself, yeah, but I'm not angry when I post it. Yeah, you're letting go of it a lot sooner, they're saying, but are you really letting go of it? You're still looking for it so you can post it, so that you can, tell others, and you're like, as soon as everybody else knows what I know, and that sort of thing. But it actually has nothing to do with others knowing. They're all going to create their own reality anyway, no matter what you do, and they'll only resist against you, or knock you down or whatever, and or they'll support you. But either way, it's still highlighting the problem. It's still highlighting the fight. We're still walking through those gates of hell, so to speak, just like Robin Williams did in that movie, What Dreams May Come. And if you haven't seen that movie, go watch that movie. It's awesome. It used to be one of my favorite movies of all time. So yeah, we really are learning to break up our stories within our minds, so that we can create something completely different on the other side. And on the other side, there is so many more possibilities, because we're then coming from a point of view, or a point of existence, where we know we are source energy going on a journey in this body. We absolutely know that. And we know that if something isn't going right on the outside world, that we can just center ourselves back into neutral and shift our mind into what we really, really want. We have control. We have the reins. We are moving forward with that. And that's so valid. So valuable is what they're saying. Valuable. Because the amount of opportunities that will exist to you, aligning with your soul's alignment and where you've come from in the past too. So you have a stream of source energy that's come from source itself, just love, and it's gone on this magnificent journey that's called source energy. And it's your soul gone from one life to another life to another life, through different planets, through different realities, different frequencies. There's trillions of life forms on just this one planet, which is a great reflection of just how many trillions of perspectives that we can come from. If you were born as an ant, if you were born as a butterfly, if you were born as a gorilla, there's so many different perspectives of programmings within nature, because source energy wanted to experience all of that. And so we, as source energy, could go on any of those journeys, ETs, extraterrestrials, all that sort of thing. And so we've got this fine line that we've come from from the source of all light, and then we've split off to go on our beautiful adventure, life after life of doing whatever we're doing. Many of us were caught on Earth, Gaia, for life after life after life. We were caught. Many humans were caught, and that's the reason why this shift is happening now, so that we can be unstuck from that. Of course, we can, through desire, keep going on that revolving cycle of going only, being stuck in a consciousness that's limiting. But this is a great opportunity for everyone to be able to experience even more, because we're starting to remember where our soul actually came from when we're aligning with source energy. And so we remember the journey that started. And I know myself, I absolutely know 100%, not from here. My soul has come straight from Pleiades. And even an elders told me that, which is, so that in itself means that I have a very strong connection to benevolence and understanding what we can create, and it's got something to do with humanity and humanity's journey and what we've gone through. But if we're aligning with source energy, absolutely anything can be possible. But it is a decision of the collective in the end, and the web of connections that's going to carve this next path. And that's what's so exciting, because source energy even doesn't exactly know how this is going to develop, because it's like it's walking into an unknown territory of a balanced mind within humanity's consciousness on Earth, knowing that we've learned everything we've learned about our logical mind, and the limitations of where we don't want to go, and all of that sort of stuff. So there's this whole new development happening at the moment, and they're showing me like a pulse now of that happening. So very cool. Hey Black Diamond, good to see you. Hey Holly and Jessa, good to see you, Mary. Okay, so it's very exciting what's coming though. It's like this vibration that's happening of humanity moving into this whole expansion of understanding of who we really truly are. And then those that think that they're got a hold of us, we'll be looking at them like, that's not going to make any difference to me anymore. There's no fear. Where there's no fear, there's no feeding. And so there's no that story just kind of peters away. It just dies, disappears. So we're definitely going down like there's a river of life, and river of life is taking us to a certain point, but then they keep showing me in this river of life, this whirlpool sucking us in, and we're like, whoa, where are we going? That's why they want us to be very strong and stable within ourselves, of when we enter this whirlpool of going of the unknownness, that we just know who we are. That's all we need to know, is love and know who we are, so that when we go into that whirlpool of, oh my God, we know who we are, and that we have the ability to be able to carve our own path, choose where we want to go. We've always held the reins. We've always have. We just didn't know it. And so we kept gifting them away to others, because we saw ourselves as insignificant in this physical world. And the physical world, we only see ourselves as a very small particle amongst a massive, huge space. And then when other particles come along, we're like, oh my God, are you better than me? Am I better than you? What's happening here? And we don't actually see ourselves as magnificent when we see ourselves of only looking outside ourselves. And that's where another person who sees themselves as not magnificent can control you, because they're trying to control many because they can't control themselves, and they think that that's the only way that they can become grand, but they're only looking outside themselves as well. And so inside they're probably like not even being honest with themselves and not even being authentic to who they are. And you cannot be authentic to who you are unless you're matching a love vibration, because source energy, the spark of consciousness, starts with love itself, wanting to explore a beautiful journey, and everything else is a lack of that love. Yeah. Okay. Hey, Ani, I'm not sure if I'm saying your name right, but thank you so much for your beautiful, what you said about my readings and that sort of thing. I really am grateful. Under one of my, I think it was the last live. Sorry. Going back and forth in my mind between you and them. Okay, they're showing me a mountain. They're showing me a dream that I had when I was 19. Sometimes in dreams, they take you to places, and it's really interesting to note that when you get taken to places in dreams, you might feel like you're going on an escalator or a lift, or you're getting sucked into something. And that's literally you shifting a vibration to move into their consciousness, and they'll be gifting you some sort of special message or some alignment with a different frequency that you can remember or something like that. So if you ever had dreams where you're in an escalator going up or down or a lift, it can be other transport methods as well, obviously. But in this one, I was going up an escalator. I think it was up an escalator. I got to the top, and then all of a sudden I was with everybody else at the bottom of this massive, massive mountain. And everyone was like climbing up this path in this massive mountain. And I was struggling with everyone else, and we were exhausted halfway through. I just decided there was people still going up the mountain, and I just went, I need a rest. And I have actually, within my reality, taken a rest. I went to Mullaney for a few years and pretty much just chilled out from society completely. And in this dream, after the rest, I started to climb the rest of the mountain with everybody else, struggling. We get to the very top of this mountain, and at the top we saw a massive maze in front of us. And then as I was standing next to the door, the gateway of the maze, all eyes went on me, and then they're like, you're going to help us, lead us through the maze. And at that stage, I was 19. I didn't know what it was talking about. I just like, oh, I don't know what the heck that's about, right? Who would have known back then that I would be sitting here now channeling all this information through, which is kind of cool. But the reason why they're bringing it up is because they want to remind humanity that they've been going on this maze, being caught in this loop, trying to find their way home. And home is not an outside thing, it's an inner thing. So we've been caught in this maze of looking for the next corner, looking for something to give us the next feeling, and the next something, the next dopamine, whatever it is, something that will give us a good feeling, and constantly looking outside ourselves for that. But it's when we align with the neutrality of self that we can find that within us anyway. And it's not boring when we get to that point of neutrality. It is so euphoric and feeling of anything's possible from this point on, that the adventure becomes even more vast. So interesting to note that humanity has been going on this loop of life after life, feeling like they have to keep on living and reliving and reliving this limited, fear-based anger, sadness, depression, anxiety, reality. I'm just seeing where they're going with this maze. But they're showing me the center of the maze. The center of the maze is like a golden light. And the closer and closer and closer that we get to that, the maze starts to disappear. We start to dismantle the illusions of the walls that we have put up for ourselves as humanity. And those walls will start to dissolve into golden light or light. And then that's when all possibilities happen, where we, the particle, become part of a bigger journey, moving towards, anyway. So that's that. But we have to let go of all anger. We have to let go of all that. I know that. I feel like I'm going around in circles myself now. Yeah, coming back to dreams, though, there's a lot of things within dreams that hold special keys within us of knowing where we are actually on our path. And we would have gone through all of the elements to go on this journey of doing the shadow work. So I wouldn't be surprised if you do remember your dreams that you have gone through learning how to control air, and then you would have seen tornadoes in your dreams, learning how to control your emotions, which is the waves or tidal waves in your dreams, learning how to control solid, grounded supportiveness, which would be earthquakes happening in your dreams, that sort of thing as well. And now we're up to fire, which is the closest element to spirit, and it resides in a faster frequency, and you can actually meet that faster frequency and walk through fire and be unharmed. But to be able to do that, you have to be completely in alignment with knowing that you can recreate whatever you want at any given time. So you're literally moving through spirit. That's why it feels so hot to our physical body, because our physical body wants to be grounded in this earth plane with earth. That's where it wants to play, where it wants to play in. But there are actually energies or entities or whatever, or other beings, soul, source energy going through these other beings that actually reside within fire and their frequency, or the sun itself. And so, and when they are aligned with that, they live out a completely different life, which is closer to spirit and manifesting things in a very quick way compared to what we see. So they're showing me now the elementals, and when I was connected with the elementals, and just as I see that, there was like a little, anyway, speck that come up. Any case, the elementals are living a little bit closer into that higher, faster frequency. So they actually see us as sloths, like we're moving really, really slow. And I know that for sure, because when I was walking through a 1,000-year-old forest up in Mullaney, I was told that from some fella that there was a portal around there, and I just straight away snapped into, oh, there's a portal around there. So that meant that, because I've had so many things happen to me, I just am pretty open to the unusual happening. And then the next minute, my body, when I looked at my next step, went really, really, really slow. And then all of a sudden, because my mind had sped up into, or my frequency had sped up to a faster frequency. So I'm now looking at myself as moving really slow, so that I could see this entity that was beside me on the path. And he noticed that I noticed him, and so forth. But he was very, very fast. They can sometimes, when you're slipping into those other frequencies, they go into, you see them as shadows, not light. And it's just because you're not quite aligned with their frequency. So you're not seeing them clearly in their physical material self. And so they seem to come up as shadows, but they can also be seen as light as well. Like fairies, when they come up, are like just little energy lines, when I've seen them anyway. And yeah, I actually made a poem about, there's a fairy on my knee, for my girls when they were little, because I didn't like the nursery rhymes. I changed all the nursery rhymes, by the way. I changed all of the lines, like the whole rockabye baby and stuff like that. I changed everything so that it was always a very positive outcome. Could probably write a kid's book about that. For them. Any case, this story about this fairy landing on my knee when I was with one of my friends. We were sitting in her lounge room, and then this energy line, and it looked like a white kind of a jagged G. I can only describe it as that. It floated up in front of us, and you could see it very distinctively. It wasn't like a little bit of dust or anything. It was about this big. And it floated up and landed on my knee, because I was sitting with my knees up on the floor, landed on my knee and then disappeared. And I said to my friend, "Did you see that?" And she said, "Yes, I did." And I'm like, "Oh my God, here I am with this nursery rhyme, and here they are showing me, and I've had experiences like that. So they live in this very much faster frequency. So for us, when we actually start to come back into source energy and alignment with that, especially if you've come from that reality in a past life with your own soul, you will have this expansion of awareness that they do actually exist. And so a lot more information, wisdom, realities will start to come play in your reality, and you can play with that. And choose which bits to ground, though. Choose which bits feel good for you to ground, and what you want to align with. The whole world is looking a little bit crazy at the moment anyway, so it doesn't really matter. This is the opportunity that humanity's been gifted through this whole crazy world happening. We're actually being gifted the fact that we can actually do what we want, what we authentically want, without our mind telling us, no, that's not going to be accepted in society. Well, society is all breaking up anyway. So, yeah. So it actually is gifting us an opportunity to align with our authentic self, and to be seen as something a little bit different, but authentic. It's not something that you can make up within yourself. This is something that's going to be coming from the feeling of who you are, and you're aligning with that, and then stepping forward and saying, "This is who I am." And when you ground that, no one can take it away from you, because you feel solid and happy with it within yourself, and that is enough. You're no longer putting on the pretend hat to be a normal, so-called normal person, which who is normal? Hello. Even those that seem normal have got all this mess within their minds anyway, trying to live in this reality. So, if that's normal, I don't really want to be a part of that. Any case, so that was pretty full-on conversation. I think I'll leave it here. I don't see any questions in the chat bar, so that's all good, but lots of love hearts and lots of smiley faces. Thank you so much. So don't forget, there is a bit of a competition coming up with me. My advert's going. I'm just going to publish my advert. I just want to see what you guys think about it before I actually put it into the, as an advert out there. And then if you say, put a little message of what you think about it underneath it, then I will choose somebody to win, like I said at the beginning of this message, win a book or a fortune dice, something that I've created. And so I have 2 books and fortune dice that I'll post out to you. So that's going to be fun. And don't forget that on Thursday, we're going to try something totally different. I'm going to try pick a channeled message. So I just want to go more and more and more into channeling, because this is who I am. and sort of peter away leave the tarot over there, but I'm still going to be using my own artwork and maybe crystals, just for fun, so that you guys can pick something. And then when you pick one of these cards, then I'll channel a message specifically for that card. And I might use the dice, and I might use crystals, because I've got a whole bowl of them there. So we can just have a bit of fun with it all in our own way, and that'll be really cool. So I'll see you next Thursday in the chat bar for that. Until then, bye.